Out to be won. MC Rob Walker, let's get it started. One last time.
Thanks, Hazel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the climax of an extraordinary match and an extraordinary tournament. As we've just heard, an unprecedented century of centuries over 17 days, and this final has produced the highest number of centuries of any match at any venue anywhere in the world. And the man who's about to be crowned 2019 Betfred World Snooker Champion will walk away not only with the trophy, but with a record-breaking cheque for £500,000. The end of this sporting marathon is upon us. So for the last time this season, let's get the boys on the bays. Please welcome a player delivering the performance of a lifetime. With a magnificent 7 centuries so far, he is 2 frames away from fulfilling a dream and lifting the global crown he has craved for decades. His family are here tonight with him every single step of the way. What a moment for them, what a moment for him. Please welcome the ace in the pack, Judd Trump. And now, here comes one of the all-time greats. What an ambassador he is for his country, his sport and his family. Performing at the highest level for a quarter of a century. The class and determination he has shown in this match has been mirrored throughout his entire career. So come on, Sheffield, raise the roof for the one and only Wizard of Wishaw, John Higgins.
Wonderful ovation for both men, and at 29 years of age, Judd Trump perhaps on the brink of his first world title, but 43-year-old John Higgins hasn't given up in his pursuit of a 5th. So a coronation or a classic Crucible comeback tonight? Let's find out with our commentary team of Alan McManus and Dennis Taylor. Good evening.
Very good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final session of the final here in the Crucible Theatre, and what a reception. Standing ovation for both players. I don't know about you, Alan, that sent a little tingle down my spine when they were introduced there.
It does every time, Den. My goodness me, what an opening. John Higgins then with it all to do. As some of the stats go through there, pot success 92, an indication of the quality.
Well, there's an attacking safety shot from John Higgins, but the surprising stat of them all is that one there, 83% for Judd Trump against 72% for John Higgins. This man has been sensational in all departments. Not the best kiss in the world. In fact, he hasn't got a chance unless surely the black doesn't go between the 2 reds as we show you the pot, but the cannon spoil things. Maybe you can see enough of the pink, possibly.
Pink ball.
And he could. He's now the complete player, Judd Trump. When he lost in the final in 2011, I'd never seen potting like it in my life. It was incredible, and he almost won that final. It was John Higgins who played brilliantly to beat him. Tricky little pink to spot for Leo Scullion, who's done a marvellous job in the final here, his first ever final.
Eight.
That needs to pull up or run a bit further. May have an angle on the yellow to get back to the reds.
Yeah, this is the red he wants to play, the one with the rest. That's the best one for plum position.
$11.
And it was John that decided to play an attacking safety shot and open the reds up, but against an opponent like Judd, the way he's playing, it might be the only shot you get in the frame. He's done precious little wrong in this final. His opponent has
18.
just been outstanding.
$19. $26.
You can see with the sidebar there, he now needs 42 more points to take the opening frame of this session, and still in prime position.
$34. $35.
Just about okay, being left-handed, but he didn't want to leave this angle on the blue, but because of that red there, just away from the bunch, he's okay.
$40. $41. $48.
Yeah, there is a red that'll still go. There you can see it.
$49.
And the first little tester, the long blue, the red above the pinks available. Just hasn't looked like missing. He's played unbelievable snooker, some incredible pots, but I'll tell you, Alan, I mentioned it this afternoon, not one reckless shot has he played.
55.
Yeah, the last 2 days has been a veritable compendium of power, preposterous potting and no little panache. He's a different player than he was 7 years ago. Mistake, 8 years ago when he played John Higgins here in the final. A completely different player now. He just got the lot. And he's showing it right from the off. There again, beautiful little cannon.
60.
That's a bit of a stretch, but it's the better one to regain position, and he only needs this red and the black to leave John needing a snooker. Turned professional 14 years
61.
ago. And every player's ambition when they turn professional is to lift the World Championship trophy at the Crucible Theatre. He's getting closer and closer to that. That's what it's all about. An amazing trophy. And while we mention the trophy, as he gets the applause, that's the frame safe. Mentioning the trophy, World Snooker have kindly made a
68.
replica, about 3/4 the size replica for all the world champions we were presented
69.
with them. What a great gesture that was. I mean, this is just stunning, the way he's played throughout this final.
76. $77. $83.
Just
84.
that one red that might prevent a century break, the one near his arm there. There's Judd's parents, Steve and Georgina. Seen them in the Champions Lounge. They must be so proud at the moment. He's played to lift that last red. Oh, just missed it.
91.
So maybe no century, but a frame closer to the title.
Green ball.
A Judd Trump special to pot the green and move the red. Oh, dear. What an effort. He might still double the red. He might still pull the double
94.
off. No century break, but what a start for Judd Trump. That was a magnificent break there, and now he's just one frame away from lifting his first title here at the Crucible.
It's supposed to be a difficult game, isn't it, guys? He's not making it look like that.
You know, I'm going to buy this pool table after he's finished, because that's what he's making it look like. I mean, he's knocking balls in for fun. And when he's in, it just looks like it's absolutely no miss every time he's there. I mean, there was no doubt. As soon as he got the cue ball under control on that break, they were all going to go.
Steve, this is an extraordinary final. You've been watching it this afternoon. How would you describe what we've been seeing today? I mean, we're running out of superlative, but you've been involved in the history of this game in this venue for a long time.
Well, it's turned into a one-man show, and he's up until this moment, he's still got to win one more frame. He's demolished one of the greatest players who's ever held a cue. It's an astonishing performance, and I don't think anybody could have foreseen it after the first session, where both players played superbly well. That second session was arguably the most violent and shocking session I've ever seen. Hate to have witnessed it from John Higgins' perspective, but what a joy for anybody who was supporting Judd Trump.
You described it last night as controlled annihilation.
It was violent.
Back we go.
27. John Higgins to break.
How does John Higgins get a handle on this fella then? As Dennis said, Judd Trump one frame away now from Snooker Immortality. He's won the UK, he's won the Masters, one away from the greatest prize of them all.
To phone the police, he's missed one. One thing about John Higgins, he will never give up. He'll fight right to the end. And this is what he's been doing throughout this final. He's had one of the greatest tacticians the game's ever seen in trouble so many times. So much so that that was the only shot available. There was no escape route there.
Yeah, his scoring has been that heavy that 7 centuries and that 90 odd in the last frame, that's basically half the match almost, where John hasn't taken part. That's how dominant now. Double. Kill the cue ball. Not this time. And a half chance now for John.
Yeah, he can't quite reach over it. There's so many awkward reds in the way, having to get the spider, which is unusual from this distance.
Thank you.
Didn't want the cannon on the yellow, obviously, so this brown is a thin cut, but there is a red over the left corner pocket. Now the fact that he forced it, had he have played for the single red, I expect him to pot that, but forcing it made the pot more difficult.
One.
That might be the end of he couldn't call it a break. He's only potted one red, but he's covered the brown. He's hampered on the blue, so it's just a safety.
Yellow ball. Judd Trump, one.
You mentioned the 11 centuries there, Alan. I think the record before that was yourself. In a semi-final, was there 10 centuries?
Wasn't an awful lot to do with me. Ding done was. He got 7. Yeah, that was the record, yeah.
Well, you got 3, Alan, so think John is resigned to just having a go at any half chance now. And if this red goes into the middle pocket, it's quite a difficult one. With the angle he has, looks a little bit easier on the overhead shot. That looks much more difficult.
One.
He's on the brown, and even if he's straight on the brown, we'll see the cue power of this player. It's quite amazing, the backspin that he generates. Well, he had an angle, so he didn't have to screw back. But not an easy chance. The pink tied up, the black near the cushion.
Six.
He's potted some lovely balls with his opposite hand. He used his right hand there. Seems very adept at that, and playing it with side also. Was he just thinking about potting the blue and canning into the pink and reds? Yeah, he's just making his mind up whether to do that or not. Decided against it.
Yeah, you can't blame him.
11.
Just pick them off. There are enough reds in the open for him. And as ever, with that cue power.
12.
Well, just potted that in the wrong half of the pocket. Tests are coming up. Probably brown. Yellow a bit tricky for a left-hander. Doesn't have a lot of room for cueing it. Awkward bridging.
Yellow.
Tough shot, this. Oh, yes. That's been a feature of his, well, he's played a whole tournament, and especially this final. Any time he gets a hair out of position, there's the recovery shot.
15.
There's still 3 or 4 loose reds available to Judd.
$18. $19.
Still got the choice whether to pot the blue and split the pink and reds, or he can keep picking the reds off. As I said, there's still another 3 or 4 available. In fact, when he pots this one, it'll release a red to the opposite corner.
24.
Yeah, this is the shot, isn't it?
Oh, look at this for a shot. Absolutely perfect. And there's all his friends, and there's his parents. You see Jack there, and Oliver Lyons, one of the professionals, good friend of Judd's. They're all here, and they're all looking very smart. That's the boys there, look like a boy band.
31.
Well, he was involved in one of the greatest finals ever last year against Mark Williams. I know he was so disillusioned after losing the last 2 finals to Mark Selby and Mark Williams, but I don't think he'd be so disappointed, but he won't be disillusioned because his opponent, and John will be the first to congratulate him if he clinches it here. He knows that he's played against a player at the peak of his form. 7 hours, and he's not that far away from his first world title. Needs to pull up a little bit.
42.
Might need another chance if this red doesn't pass into the corner. It's tight.
Yeah, I think there's enough room there. You maybe wouldn't want to risk potting it off the far jaw, but centre of the pocket or left jaw shouldn't be a problem. Almost there.
That's his brother Jack there, who's travelled all over the world with him for the last couple of years. And he looks to the heavens. There's no better feeling in the world when you're potting a few balls that's going to give you your first world championship. Just needs one more colour.
50.
I think John Higgins, playing any other player the way John has played, would have won the title this year. But this man has been awesome.
Choose shots, choose pots. Long red thump. Hail the new
62.
king, Judd Trump.
I like that, Alan. Even if the red doesn't go in, I think John Higgins will come forward, puts his cue down to congratulate Judd Trump. Absolutely incredible performance from Judd Trump to win his first World Championship. And he will be crowned the 2019 Betfred World Champion. Congratulations to Judd and all his family.
Quality of snooker we have ever seen in the Crucible final. A record-breaking 2 days. And both of these amazing players have played their part. John, if I can come to you first. What an amazing achievement to make 3 finals in a row. I know it's not the outcome that you had hoped for, but you came up against a man today playing quite simply superhuman snooker.
Yeah, I mean, I was a lucky one. I didn't have to pay for a ticket there because honestly, it was just awesome, absolutely awesome. I was lucky to get 9 frames really, so no, brilliant. So good luck to him. I said to him, first of many, I'm sure, because he'll go on and win this many more times. I'm sure producing a standard like that, that's incredible, incredible.
I guess, John, that the damage was done last night with that incredible burst of frames from Judd. But how much hope and belief did you come back with this afternoon, especially with the 147 attempt?
Yeah, no, that's what I said. The crowd were clapping that long and it was that loud that I was wanting to go on and play the black, and the pressure was mounting and mounting as the clap was going on. I'm thinking I'm going to miss this black here, and then sure enough I did. But no, listen, I gave it everything, but it was just unplayable. It was unplayable. So
I know every defeat hurts, John, but I wonder if it's numbed the pain being part of one of the best finals of all time, and you have played a wonderfully special part in that too, has he not, ladies and gentlemen? This could take some time, John. This could take some time. you think of that response, John?
No, listen, he playing it a third time in a row. Yeah, it's brilliant. I never expected coming here to get to final, but I was delighted to get there. But as I say, just come up against an unstoppable machine, and every credit to him. He was brilliant.
This is the man, ladies and gentlemen, who at Christmas time was saying that he was thinking about giving up this game. He's not, I'm very glad to say clearly. But also, I think everybody who witnessed your run to the final, it's a testament to your tenacity and your grit, John. And everybody who witnessed that semi-final against Dave Gilbert will never, ever forget that comeback today, or your class today as well. Thank you very much, John. Come back again. Judd Trump, world champion at last. How does that sound?
Incredible. I can't put it into words. I've worked so hard for this, and yeah, just for the people around me is so special.
And to win it the way you played in a record-breaking final, I wonder how much pride you take in that performance today, Judd.
Yeah, it was an amazing final. I think the standard from the very first session, the very first ball, John is such a great player. I always seem to raise my game and still don't beat him. Every time I play him, I play amazing, and he beats me every time. So, yeah, that's probably the best I ever played in sort of a major final. And I still didn't feel relaxed coming into the session tonight. I think I've lost some big leads against him in the past, and like the standard he was playing, and I was just, yeah, it was, I don't know, I can't put it into words how well I played, and that's what you've got to do to beat John. And it's amazing to, obviously, for him to reach 3 finals. He's won 4. Every time I play him, I just try and learn as much as possible. He's, without doubt, the top, if not the greatest, one of the greatest to ever play the game. And yeah, I've always looked up to him.
Well said, Judd. But Judd, that incredible peak performance burst out of you with the 8 frames in a row last night. And I just wonder, the Judd Trump of 2011 who was losing to John in this very arena, how much work has it taken for you to be standing here now as champion?
I've had to really sort of go away and rebuild my game. I think I did feel very confident in the final, so I tried to play as similar as I did to the last one, but just with, obviously, a bit more safety when I needed it. But I think a special thanks to my brother, who's moved up with me at the start of this season, and a massive help, obviously, and I think he's one of the reasons why I've done so well this season. And a special mention to my family that have always believed me and always helped me to get here.
It's a great moment for them too, obviously. But I just wonder, Judd, when you were a little boy, and you've been a world champion and waiting for a very long time, we've been waiting for this moment on your behalf. What was it that first inspired your desire to be a world champion, and who was it?
My dad. My dad's the biggest snooker fan in the world. He watches every single game every time it's on TV, so it's just inspiring to see his motivation in snooker. And there's been some tough times, some bad losses, but I think just the inspiration to really win it for him is what got me through.
And I tell you what, it's not just the world title, ladies and gentlemen, because Judd tonight becomes the 11th man into the Triple Crown Club, a career Triple Crown, the UK, the Masters, and now the world title itself. I tell you what, you're in very good company, aren't you?
It's an incredible achievement for me from where I was at sort of the start of the season. I think I hadn't been doing that well for the past season or two. My brother came up and been practicing harder than ever, and the results have really paid off this season.
And I tell you what, he's also the first player to cross the £1 million prize money mark this season. Drinks on Judd this evening, is it?
I might get the first round in.
We might hold you to that. Judd, what a pleasure it's been to watch you and to watch John in possibly the greatest final of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, please salute your champion, Mr. Judd Trump.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your presentation party, Mark Stebbings, Managing Director of Betfred, and Barry Hearn, Chairman of World Snooker. The runner-up, receiving the silver medal and a cheque for £200,000. What a champion, what a player, and what a run to yet another final, John Higgins. And the winner tonight, fulfilling a lifelong dream, receiving a cheque for £500,000, the trophy and the title, 2019 Betfred World Snooker Champion, Judd Trump. Your champion, Judd Trump.
And there he is, a new champion for a new generation. The first man in his 20s, since a certain Neil Robertson in 2010, to win it in his 20s. It really is a positive for snooker. John and Steve, it could mean a new era for snooker. We were talking about this at the Masters, and I wonder how much of a force for good for the game this man is.
Well, it certainly is, and on that performance, listen, he won the Masters, and I said there in the studio at the time, I said if he plays like that, he could win the World Championships. What he did was usurp that performance at the Masters. That's as good as he can possibly play. I mean, I didn't know he was that good, I'm being honest with you. I had no idea he was that good. What he showed me there was just sensational.
What's it going to do for kids, Steve, watching him try backhanded shots and power his way around the table playing superhuman stuff?
Well, I think, you know, you need to be inspired by somebody who's of the same generation as yourself, and he's possibly the man to do it and to bring it forward. I'm sure there's going to be a number of Chinese players that are going to push him as years go on, but he's got a bit of breathing space. He's such a dangerous opponent. He turned the final into a procession. That was an amazing performance. And as you said, the standard of that final, Hazel, quite rightly, it may have been the greatest standard we've ever seen. It may not have been from both players, it may not have been close, but the actual overall standard was astonishing. And he was the brunt of it.
Yeah, he certainly was. And there he is. There's one for the family album, as we always say. And his manager, Jangle Fung, on the end there. Georgina and Steve, his mum and dad, and Jack, his brother. He's been a world champion in waiting for a long time, guys, as I said out there. English under-15 champion at 10 years of age. Youngest to make a competitive maximum at 14. Third youngest to appear at the Crucible. It's his 10th campaign to try and win this thing. And I just wonder, in particular, what's he had to change? What's he had to develop over the last 8 years or so in order to fulfil this?
A slight more appreciation of when to play a safety shot. That was all it was. It was all, and he's done that himself. You heard him say his match play's improved. He has got all the talent in the world. I didn't know he had that much, to be honest with you. But he matched John Higgins. I mean, look at the stats tonight. He's actually better than John Higgins in the safety department. He's added that to the natural talent he's got. He's obviously worked harder. He's gone away and grafted more. And now he knows how to win these majors. There'll be a lot more to come.
Well, vibrant new blood in the Triple Crown Club, as we were talking about, the 11th man in history to win the UK Masters and World. But how many more times might he do those again, Steve?
Well, he's very well placed to do this now. He's going to have renewed confidence in his abilities. He's withstood a lot of people saying that maybe he'd never win the World Championship, but he's shown great patience to get there. In another era, I think he may have won the World Championship at a younger age, but he's still got plenty of years left to try and dominate this game.
Well, I suspect he's going to be lapping up the applause, quite rightly, for the next little while. And I tell you what, guys, what a 17 days it has been. We have more or less seen just about everything.